Have you ever thought about how great it would be to provide 12 months worth of vegetables for your family from your own garden without having to visit the supermarket? My name's Dominique Sparks from Balancing Rock Farm, and that's what today's video is about. Before I get started, I need to say that it is almost impossible to completely grow all your family's vegetable needs for 1 year. There's a lot of variables that come into it. However, hopefully this video will help you plan for your 12 months of vegetable growing and help you grow more than you've ever grown before. Now, if you've never planned on growing 12 months of vegetables or supplying your family with vegetables for 12 months, the first place to start is to get an accurate idea of how much vegetables your family actually eats in a year. Now, there's a couple of ways of doing this. You can go through your grocery receipts and see what you've been buying. The other way is to do an actual log of what your family eats for a couple of weeks. Now, if you're anything like my family, what you eat throughout the seasons changes. In winter, we eat a lot of casseroles, slow cooker recipes, so it's potatoes, carrots, broccoli and cauliflower, winter veggies, that sort of thing. But in summer we eat a lot more tomatoes and lettuce, salad stuff, so you might find it's handy to do your log at a couple of different times throughout the year. That'll give you a good overview of what you're eating in the year. Don't forget to include vegetables you might use in lunch boxes, in your baking, for breakfasts, other meals, not just your evening meals. Now, on my website I've actually got a link to a spreadsheet that's really helpful during this planning process. It lists most of the main vegetables. You can add some extras if I've missed some of your favourites, and then there's some different columns that can fill in as you're going through the process. I'll put the link down below, so feel free to download. Next step in the process is to run your eye down your list and put a tick next to all the ones that grow in your area. Now, obviously some vegetables are tropical, they don't grow very well in colder climates. For example, okra only grows in the tropics, although I don't know why you want to grow okra. I don't know who eats okra anyway. You can work out your growing area by looking at a map like this one. I'm from down here in Victoria, and an okra grows way up here. So the next variable to think about is how much land you have to dedicate to your vegetable gardening. If you're in a rural area, like in a farm for example, you might have lots of space and your veggie garden can grow as the needs of your family grows. But if you're in an apartment, then you have to rely on what you can grow in containers or in a tiny little backyard. So here's another chart. This one shows all the common vegetables and how much space is needed in order to grow each one. I'll put a link below so you can download that too if you're interested. Okay, so say you have grown close to a year's worth of vegetables for your family. Now you need to work out how you're going to store them or preserve them through the winter months. As we mentioned, some vegetables prefer warmer climates, others prefer growing in the cooler months. So if you can't store them out of season, then you're not going to be able to eat them. Tomatoes, for example, only grow over summer, usually harvesting them in February or March in our part of the world. And if you want to eat them all year round, it's not going to happen unless you've got the help of a seriously heated glass house. Tomatoes are great bottled. You can make tomato sauce, you can freeze them. So you just need to keep in mind storage space. So, have you got the freezer space for large amounts of frozen vegetables? Have you got the shelf space to put all your sauces and your canned processed veggies? Or, if you're growing a lot of carrots and potatoes, you need sort of a dark, dry environment to store them over winter. We have a couple of different storage areas. This is our storeroom that has 2 chest freezers and an upright freezer and a spare fridge. In our garage I have storage space for bottled goods, tomato sauce, peppers, lots of pureed tomatoes. Pumpkins down there, potatoes in that wooden box. Normally in here I'd have carrots, but we've used the last of them now. And then up here in the pantry I have more storage area for stuff that we're likely to use in the next couple of weeks. One of the biggest considerations when deciding how much you can grow is how much time you'll have. Providing 12 months worth of vegetables for your family does take a lot of time, from preparing your ground, weeding, sowing, watering, warding off pests and diseases. It all takes time. In saying that though, there's lots of little hints and tips that you can do to make your time in the garden more efficient, from setting up a self-watering system to laying down solid mulch so your weeding doesn't become such an issue. So you have the list of vegetables that your family eats, you know that they grow in your area, you know how much space they take up, whether you can store them and that you've got the time to grow them properly. Now you've got all this information, you need to run your eye down your list one more time and prioritise it. So the vegetables that your family eat the most of will be pretty high on your list, and obviously they have to abide by all the other criteria as well. Now, example of this might be pumpkins. Your family might eat a lot of pumpkin, and they're a great vegetable to grow, but they do take up a lot of space. And if you don't have a lot of space, then it will cut down on the variety of vegetables you can grow. So you may decide pumpkins are low on your list so that you can grow more tomatoes, onions, potatoes, other things that take up a smaller amount of space. Or you might just grow one plant of pumpkins instead of 3 or 4. Of course, you won't get it right the first year. You'll be continually adjusting and changing your plan. Your family will grow and be eating more and more each year, or the kids may leave home and suddenly you need a lot less food than you did. You will discover that some veggies just won't grow in your area no matter how badly you want them to. A lot of trial and error goes on, but each year you get better and better at working out how much you should be planting. Providing food for your family straight out of the garden or from preserves on your shelf is the best feeling ever. It's so rewarding. So give it a go. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the thumbs up button below, and if you want to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe. I try and put videos out once a week from now on. Otherwise, you can find me at Bell Rock Farm on Instagram or Balancing Rock Farm on Facebook.